Okay, so I am gonna make this YouTube video. I just need to be really careful with how I preface the start of this. This is definitely not going to be an educational video. This is purely for entertainment value only. We are going to be taking a look at 3 double piece sacrifices that I have invented in the Stafford Gambit over the course of the last 3 months. And I really do think that invented is the right phrase to use here, because these were not discovered by a computer. In fact, if you put this on the computer, it will point out right away just how many mistakes you are making. And that's why I just need it to be perfectly clear from the start of this video. These are not recommendations to play this way. It's purely for curiosity's sake. And one of the things that I really like to do, especially when I'm streaming live on Twitch in front of a large group of viewers, is I like to play all sorts of different crazy, wild, dubious gambits, the kind of which, if you're unprepared for, they really might be hard to solve on the spot. And I guess my enjoyment for all of these kind of comes from testing the limits of how much does preparation going into a game matter, and how much does the objective evaluation of any given position matter. And in my mind, through a lot of testing and a lot of playing with viewers, it really does kind of seem like what is the most important thing, at least at the sub-master level, is just being more prepared than the opponent. And even if your position is truly horrible, there really is something to be said about knowing and understanding a position that can give you a huge advantage whenever you're playing in chess. But what tends to happen when I do play these openings is the opening actually has a very short lifespan, because as soon as I play it against one viewer, the next viewer in line is going to have already seen that game, learned from it, and some of these openings only have a lifespan of about 1 hour, because after that, everyone in the chat has already seen it, we've refuted it, and I have to try to pull out a whole bunch of new tricks and stuff, and then eventually the openings just die. And all 3 of these openings that I'm going to be showing you in this video definitely fall into this category of openings that can be easily refuted, but if you've never seen them before, it can lead to a little bit of fun, and this really is just about kind of having fun and playing some real dubious garbage. So with that in mind, let's just jump right in and talk about the first double piece sacrifice that you can play in the Stafford Gambit. Loyal viewers of this channel may have already seen this first one, because about 2 months ago I published a video called Haters Will Say This New Stafford Gambit Variation is Unsound, in which I was facing for the very first time this very pesky e5 move in the Stafford Gambit, and I decided to come up with my own variation, something very similar to the NAKHMANSON Gambit, and it looked a little bit something like this. E5 though. I don't like when my opponent tells me what I can and can't do, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Doesn't know what to do. How crazy am I? I'm crazy, dude. I'm crazy. You don't know me. You don't know me. Boom! Boom! Now we have to justify it. So now we're down our traditional 2 pieces. Stafford's not really a gambit. It's only 1 pawn. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm playing for, is a NAKHMANSON type where you just get a pin. I just want this pin on e2, and I want to bring out my bishops. I want to just rook here, bishop here, just e2 collapsing. And this video was generally well liked, so I will leave a link in the description below if you do want to go back and check it out. But not all of my gambits are actually received this well. In fact, going back about 3 months ago, this was the first time that I had ever actually tried to combine 2 gambits together. Now, this is something I've actually done since a ton of times on Twitch, but very rarely do these things make it all the way over here to YouTube. And it was actually first on Twitch that I had tried to combine the Jerome Gambit with the Stafford Gambit, 2 fan favorites that I thought was really going to go over well with the crowd. And I invented this crazy new variation, which I'm about to share with you for the very first time. And I thought it was going to be really epic, because at one point, the white position is at least evaluated by the computer as something like plus 11. And I was able to come up with a really creative way to trick the computer into allowing a perpetual check, and it involved sacrificing just about every single piece that I had. But admittedly, it was a little bit of a slow process, and it did take me 4 tries to make a draw against Stockfish, and the crowd was really not happy. Chat let me know right away that they were not pleased with only a draw. And now for the very first time, I'm going to present to you this trick that you used to be able to use against the highest level of Stockfish on LeChess.org. Since January, they have actually upgraded to Stockfish 13. This is a trick that used to work against Stockfish 12, so it doesn't quite work anymore, and we will let Stockfish 13 run so you can see the exact moment where the old Stockfish 12 used to get tricked. But this was a line that you could play against the Stafford Gambit in one of the most critical lines, which is the Knight C3 combined with H3 variation, which is often touted as one of the refutations of the Stafford Gambit. And it was here that I decided to combine another crazy wacky gambit just to see how Stockfish would actually reply. So I began with bishop takes f2, and after king takes, knight takes e4. So we're kind of combining a lot of the elements of the Jerome, the sacrifice on f7 followed by knight capturing an e-pawn, and after knight takes e4, queen to d4 check. The reason that this trick actually works against the great fish is that when you see the lines like this, and something like king f3 is so much stronger, at least in terms of evaluation, than king to g3 or king to e1, Stockfish will have no choice but to play the line king to f3 and slowly walk the king out to the center. If you were a human player, you could play a very simple move such as king to e1, where, for example, if we did decide to grab this, you'd be able to just trade the queens off. But since the powerful Stockfish has to play something that is the best move, we're able to force the king to come up. And after queen to d5, the king has to come up even further. So in this position, king to f4 is the best move, so that's what Stockfish has to play. And it was around here that I would play the move bishop to f5 after queen to f3, a very critical move that the computer at least didn't understand at the time, which was g5. Opening the g5 is actually critical to the upcoming perpetual that I was using in the game. After knight takes g5, queen to d4 check, this forces the king to come even closer, sacrificing yet another piece. And after castling knight to e4, eventually the computer would start to try to run the king back. After we centralized our rooks on the E and G file, queen e3 was the mistake that Stockfish was making previously. So you can see now this computer, Stockfish 13, sees right through it, plays a move like g4, which doesn't allow the perpetual check and gives the king a little bit of a home on the g3 square. But at the time, Stockfish was playing queen e3, allowing us to sacrifice another exchange, and now there's so many open files and pathways to the king that with a series of very careful checks, I was able to make a perpetual check against Stockfish. So boom, we did it. 22 move draw against Stockfish. But even though not everybody in chat was happy with the fact that I only managed to get a draw against Stockfish from a position where Stockfish started plus 11 against me, I still thought that this was an amazing accomplishment, and it holds a very special place in my heart. And that brings us to 5 days ago, where I had a stream where I was playing against viewers from a prearranged position. So I entered the stream with a lot of knowledge. I had prepared to play this line, but they had the advantage of having a completely winning position against me. And the line was as follows. So yet again, we were playing the Stafford Gambit, but this time I was actually taking back with my b-pawn. And we were forcing the viewers to play the move e5. The computer does think this is a dubious move, but if you actually play right now against Stockfish level 13, and you force it to play from this position, it almost always plays the move pawn to e5. And that got me thinking, well, what if I hop my knight into the center and basically do a reverse Cochrane Gambit almost, where we're taking on f2, and after the king takes back, playing bishop to c5. So we've already gambited one piece here, and after the very normal looking d4, queen h4, king e3, I was playing yet another crazy move, bishop takes d4. And this was actually the starting position. So the opponents had to play the move king e3, and after bishop takes d4, they were on their own. Now, as it usually happens in these kinds of streams that I do, the very first viewer has a supreme disadvantage. And that is, he hasn't seen anybody play this yet, has no idea what's going on, and unfortunately, the first viewer that I played this against actually made a huge mistake by going directly to d3. I was able to play the move pawn to d5, basically shutting off the king from retreating in any meaningful way, and after, unfortunately, the viewer took back en passant, I was able to sneak in a very quick checkmate. And this is how these things actually usually go. The first viewers have a little bit of difficulty, but then over time, people learn, and eventually everybody is able to beat me, because after all, once you learn kind of the tricks in an opening like this, it's really, really difficult to beat somebody. There's only so many different tricks I can come up with. And after a few more games from this starting position, I got a challenge from a regular viewer who happens to be a really strong chess player. So I'm going to show you this game in its entirety, and it's at this moment that I'm going to leave you with this game, and I'm going to let the viewers decide what they think of these kinds of gambits. So you can let me know in the comments below, and I hope you guys really enjoy this Blitz game. Play you? You're tough! All right, we'll play a tough guy. Tough guy. Oh, but I got to be black. Tough guy wants my rating points. He saw the last game. He wants the points. I don't blame you. So here we go. Sultai. This is a very strong player. We've played before. 3.5, 3.5. So it's all on the line here. Hey, you don't have these points yet. This line's tricky. The other guy blundered mate in 2. I blanked out after that. I don't know the result, but the other guy blundered mate in 2. So it's a tricky line. All right, let's go. You cheated. You cheated. You cheated. Cheater! Cheater! It's not the line we're playing. That's not the line we're playing. You're not playing along. Follow the rules. Let's go. There we go. D3. Play D3. Come on. Let's have a good time. Check. D4. Check. King E3. Then you're on your own. All right, it's all you from here. Boom. All right, we'll give her check. One of these times, I'm going to grab this bishop. I think that's actually the best move. But I am going to try bishop to b7 one more time. Go here. I know now. Queen e3, you are attacking my queen. That's a very important element in this position. A lot of people might miss that. But the queen on e3 does attack my queen. All right, and I think this is where, so obviously white's like totally winning, but I'm hoping at least in a blitz game, even against a tough guy, maybe this will ask a lot of tough problems. Oh, prevents the threat. Nice, nice, nice. That's what I want to play. Just want to force my idea into the position. Just don't know how good it is. A genius would play d6 here. Only a genius could. Oh, fast guy. All right. Ah, dang it. I give up. All right, and this is how my streaming career ended. He just went a little bit too far one day. You know, he had all these cool gambit-y ideas, and then one day he just went a little bit too far, you know, just took it to a degree from which he could not himself recover. And that's how the career died. It was sad to see. It was sad to see. But we wish him the best of luck in whatever he does after streaming. Is there any hope? These rooks, they're active. The good thing about this is even if you mess up a bunch, at least you're always active. See, look at this king. Look at that embarrassed king. Get back. Get back. All right, get out. Move. Scoot. These were active. Grabbing some pawns. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we going to get to double? Uh-oh. Double up. Oh, could get fun. Here we go. Give me the pawn. Give me the bishop. Oh, nice move. Nice move. Here. Look at this one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Knight is hanging. So if knight here. Oh, no, it doesn't go for that. He goes, allows this check, huh? Allows the check. Picks up the knight. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, we're coming back. What a valiant comeback. We're too active. The activity is too much. As long as I don't blunder the queen, I can trade her off. Can trade the queen off, still get a good position. Cannot blunder her. That's too much. But let's go. Look, here we go. Uh-oh. This opening's great. What a great opening. I'm somehow threatening to win this rook, I'm sure. If not, what's my biggest threat? Just winning an exchange? It's not the style. I'm just going to put the king in the corner. Yeah! Boom, baby! We did it! Somehow! Somehow! Woo!